my main thing, and I'll close it with this, is just train up a child in the way that they should go, and they should not depart from it. And the only way that that's going to work is if you really believe what you stand on, if you really believe what you say. If you telling them to do one thing, but then you doing a whole nother thing, or you doing the opposite, they don't listen to what you say. They watch what you do. Yo, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy Derek, and you are now tuned in to another episode of Not Another Podcast. And right now, I got my boy Vic in the building. What's good, baby?
Yo, what's good, baby boy?
Another one. Let's get it. Yeah. So I wanted to really do this podcast because there was this thing going around about the Nickelodeon scandal and whatnot. And for those of you who don't know, there was this documentary that came out not too long ago. It's called Quiet on the Set. And basically what they're doing is they're trying to expose Nickelodeon, and in particular, one of the producers by the name of Dan Schneider. And then, it's just a whole bunch of stories and testimonies coming out about this guy and how he was acting. And really, it's just letting out all of the skeletons out of the closet of Hollywood, which is so crazy, bro.
Yeah. It's mad evil stuff going on.
Mad evil stuff.
Hollywood.
And this be the stuff that, a lot of people, like, I would say you and per se, you be putting me on to. And, like, it's not that I don't look for this stuff, but it really just be on some, like, I just don't pay attention to it. So I'm not looking for it. So when I come across stuff like this, like, everybody knows that Hollywood is evil. There's no denying that. You know what I mean? For sure. But like, for me, I know that Hollywood is evil, but am I looking for the evilness in Hollywood? Nah, I just know that it's a wicked place to be in. I know that it's a lot of, like, rape. It's a lot of, sexualizing women. Wickedness. Yeah, it's a lot of that stuff, bro.
Mad wickedness.
Like, so we took it upon ourselves to look at the actual series, but in a minute what we're going to do is we're going to play this clip for y'all, and this is just a trailer to Quiet on the Set, the dark side of kids TV. Let's watch it.
Nickelodeon was kid everything, and you better hope that your house had cable.
Wasn't there to educate you. We were there to have fun, to get slimed, to be entertained.
And this is when Dan Schneider arrives, Nickelodeon's golden boy. He created these shows that were hugely successful for them.
No one had ever really done sketch comedy starring kids for kids.
He launched the careers of child actors who became major stars.
For 20 years, he shaped children's entertainment and culture.
Hey, thank you for being here.
But that marked one of the darkest chapters. Working for Dan was like being in an abusive relationship.
Dan's treatment of people on his shows was an open secret.
So my lawyer filed complaints, gender discrimination, hostile work environment, harassment, and it was so devastating.
How safe can any kids be in that environment? There would be even bigger problems down the line with actual pedophiles on set.
These are three predators who worked at
and great there, Brian
in a
Peck.
short amount of time.
The one in the middle?
Yeah, the one in the middle. That's what he talk about.
It was a toxic
a lot too.
It made me trust people less.
You remember that dude?
Yeah.
Yo, you remember all that? Yeah, that joke was wild.
Her too, yo. When I seen her on it, I was like, what?
I had no idea what I was saving my son from. It was a house of horrors.
They find this enormous trove of child pornography.
The officer said we found Ziploc bags, each one with a girl's name on it.
11 charges of child sexual abuse related to a child actor.
It made me wonder who was being hurt.
I've been waiting 17 years for today.
It wasn't dealing with anybody on the shows or anything, right?
It was a child actor.
On one of our shows?
Yes. Have you ever told your story publicly before?
It's crazy, man.
Sheesh.
Crazy. And you can watch that on ID, and you can also watch that on Max, man. So tell me, like, how was your what was your reaction, bro? Because you watched the whole thing, right? I only watched 2 episodes.
Yo, I was just like mind blown. Like thinking about when I was a youngin', like not even thinking like that. It was like, what the fuck? Like, what the fuck? Bro, I felt the way about that shit, and I wasn't even a kid star or nothing like that. Yeah. But look at the innuendos that they had, like the hidden messages that they had in the scripts was just like, it was really embarrassing. It was like mad shameful, bro. Like,
yeah, bro,
it was crazy. Like you get caught up into something like that, and yeah.
Like one of the things that they were talking about with the black boy, they had made him put on this suit, the nose suit, because he was like nose man or something like that. Yeah. And when I first looked at it, I was like, maybe they just stretching it. You know what I mean? Yeah. If anything, for me, it definitely felt racist. I ain't gonna cap.
Definitely racist.
Especially when he was going into like the little fetus, and we watching this as kids, bro.
I remember stuff like I remember that. I remember those episodes like
I remember vividly. Little fetus, and I never thought
I remember all of that. That's the crazy part about it, and it's like it can't be at no other time. Like it was the best time to be that kid, to be so blinded by that. Like their demographic of kids was just so big, and you got to consider the fact that there wasn't any type of internet or nothing like that. So you just watching cable television at that point. So you watching all that. You watching Amanda Show. You watching Drake and Josh, and that fetus, that baby fetus thing, the nose boy thing,
right?
How they were saying on his shoulders, it was like a ball, like 2 balls and a dick and going up to. So for me, I look at stuff like why would they need to do that? You know what I'm saying? I look at it like, if they didn't need to do that, why is it there? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I felt like in another sense, it'd be like, all right, so now if you did it, it's like, what is it for? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not for anything else. Like that's why it's like it just bring you kind of the conclusion.
For me, that's why when I looked at it when I was watching the show, for me it just felt as though they were trying to be funny, because not for nothing, like there's this racial joke behind black people and big noses,
right?
And then they made the young black boy put on the big nose and be nose man. So right then and there, and then mind you, then they make him be Little Fetus the rapper, and then they made him again. It was another sketch where he was on the corner and he was selling stuff, and his mom was like, "Yo, they got him selling drugs," and you know what I mean. So that lined up, and I never really looked at it as like a sexual thing. But then when you start getting into like who they Ariana were, Grande,
and not even as just who they were, like as producers, as the guy that
Dan Snyder,
that guy, like you just start seeing like how he used to move, so then that gives you that idea. Had he not been moving like that, you'd be it's just racist. You know what I mean? But the fact that he was a sexual person, that, or not even sexual, a person that sexualized, he was a pervert that sexualized stuff, bro. That kind of just gave you that conclusion, like you just kind of like, man, this is. It's that, it could be that too. It's just who he is. Like, even if it wasn't, it just could be that too. You know what I'm saying?
Man.
But definitely big on them being racist on the set. Like that was another big thing from that. I think they talked about for real. They talked about it.
For me, it was just like, it was witnessing your childhood heroes suffer and be dehumanized, bro. You know what I mean? Like, these are people, like, we looked up to Amanda. We looked up to Drake and Josh. We looked up to all of those kids. You know what I mean?
Facts.
Like, we wanted to be them. So to see that stuff was going on, that's like imagining like Michael Jordan or LeBron James saying that they was like repeatedly getting raped as a child. Like, it's just like, dang, bro. Like,
all right, but yeah, let's get into it. I mean, all right. So first off, what was your favorite show out of all of them? Out of all the shows that he done made, all that. You got, you know, Drake and Josh. You got Amanda Show.
I would say all that. All that was my favorite, bro. Other than the cartoons, as far as like SpongeBob and stuff like that, when it came to like, you know, what do they call it? Like live action. Yeah. All that was it, bro. It was the show. You got the sketches, you got the kids that are talented, and then at the end, you had, you know, Coolio performing, you know what I mean? Bro, that was it. If you made it on all that, like, look at what the kids were saying. I don't want to spoil it. Definitely go and check it out. I don't want to spoil it too much. But when you look at it, like, for you to be on all that, it was like, and then the way that they talk about Dan Schneider and how you had to be in his good graces, because if you weren't, any given moment you could be dropped, like the girl that got dropped before Amanda came and stuff like that. Like, bro, that's really like, I don't know, man.
That's the reality of that.
And Kenan and Kel too. Kenan and Kel was my favorite.
Kel was
what was
like
yours?
That. I would probably say like Amanda Show. I would say Amanda Show and Kenan and Kel.
Yeah, word.
I remember vividly, right? So on all that, now all that top 3 for me.
That's a fact,
too.
though.
Let's not get it messed up. But I remember one episode on all that it had the coffee and the sugar.
Yeah, they was
remember
talking.
how there was the sugar and the coffee. Yo, that was my favorite skit. Yo, it's crazy. Cause I feel like that was before my time when I was young. Yeah. But in reality, I was really young, and that around that time it was like 90, 98, 99.
Yeah.
You know, but to like what 2001 maybe.
Yeah, right.
I don't know, but thinking about it, like I was very much conscious of. I was mad young, and these kids were way older. Right. But like, it was live. It was like really like that. It wasn't no reruns or no Full House or nothing like that. Like that was our era. So it was like, yo, that's fly. Like watching like Jamie Lynn Spears come on the set after Amanda got older, had the Amanda Show. That was something like just transitions and stuff like that. You just think about those when you get.
Yo, but for me, it was like you get this. There's two sides of the TV. There's the people on the opposite side, and then there's us on the couch watching, right? Right. And the reason why I bring that up is because when you hear them talk about the trauma that they went through, going through like the sugar in the coffee, the dares and stuff that they were doing. Oh yeah. Us on the outside looking in, well, I'm gonna speak for me personally. I thought that they were cool with doing that.
I wanted to do that.
That was the thing that we wanted to do. We wanted to go and swim in cockroaches and stuff like that, just because it was mad cool, and get slimed all the time and drink mad sugar and coffee and then like as you get older, you realize like, yo, this is kind of like low key like brutal. Yeah,
it's kind of like abnormally like, you know, punishment. Like one thing though, I was just thinking about it, and you know they talk about it on the documentary, but they were saying that basically all that was like a younger version of SNL, right, and like, you know, Dare, Truth or Dare or whatever that was like Fear Factor. They kind of like try to get those big, you know, production shows that
like mimic them as kids.
Yeah, as kids, and then just that, it was like, damn, it was a realization. It was like mind blowing for real that, you know, it was actually that, but it actually attracted all of us because it was something that we could definitely watch. It was for kids, right? So, but let's talk about behind the scenes.
So that prompts me to ask you, right? Like, we're watching, these things are being revealed to us. These kids are being sexualized. Even the women on set are being sexualized. It's just a whole bunch of sexual stuff going on, right? You fast forward to today, and for us, we're new parents. I don't know about you, and I want you to speak on it, but for me, I feel as though more than ever, TV and the internet is everything is sex, bro.
Oh yeah,
everything is sex, and it's creeping in to the children. It's creeping into the world of the kids, bro. The shows, the same stuff that's happening on all that stuff is creeping in now. But now, for me, I feel as though it's being more blatant, bro. Like, they want kids to change their genders and cross dress, and they want
definitely
them
normalizing.
Yeah, bro. Stuff. Like, so how do you feel about today's world as far as like sexuality and kids being involved?
Honestly, I feel like it was a plan from the jump. Thinking about it more and more, what the result is now, you try to like I try to backtrack, like, yo, where was this back then too? You know, and then you kind of like see where it started from and stuff like that. Cause then you think about it, and the like the cross dressing and stuff like that. Those been in movies. Those were in earlier movies in like the 80s and the 90s and stuff like that. And it wasn't so big, you know, homosexuality or stuff like that, transgenders and stuff like that, or even cross dressers. They weren't so big back then, but they were still there. They were still like relevant. I feel like with time, anything can grow. You know what I'm saying? So that dynamic just grew into more and more. And not for nothing, I don't know whether it be nature or nurture on, you know, the way these kids are brought up or however they're brought up. But you know, it's something you really got to look into sometimes. And I don't know, try to figure. And that's where like I think about like where it started, like,
but even
where it was back then.
Even if we want to go deeper, not for nothing, if we want to go deeper, it's not only is it creeping in on the shows and stuff like that, and the movies, and you know, you got all of those things, but just sexuality and sexual nature itself, bro. Like, I feel as though kids are being exposed to this even more. Not for nothing, little backstory just to get a little bit personal, but even I was introduced to sex at a very young age.
Oh yeah,
you know what I mean?
Where I was,
and it's sad, me growing up now and me being an adult. It's sad for me to say that, you know what I mean? Like, I wish I would have never got exposed to that stuff. I wish I would have never went that route. But, you know, all glory be to God. Things happen, and God makes a way out of no way, and everything works for our purpose. You know what I mean? So I say that to just say, like, I think it was already... sex was already getting introduced at a very young age back then, but now with kids having cell phones, every other TV show is involving sex, cross-dressing, things like that, changing genders and stuff. Bro, it's more prevalent than ever that like the devil's agenda is that he wants to introduce sex as soon as possible. As soon as you can know your ABCs, here, man, also take... You know what I mean? Like, also look at this. Look at what this does. You know what I mean? Like, and how do you feel about that?
I mean, I think that's something that we should definitely be aware of, but I think that's gonna come with more of the realization that we need like more churches. We need more of our faith to be involved in. You know, our faith definitely should be involved in trying to amend, make better, like, how society's forming, you know, stuff like that. So, I don't know, man. I it's a hard thing because you can only, like, life is going to just go. Life is going to go. So you can really just be, like, keep your head above water and be aware of what's going on. And try to not entertain that, you know what I'm saying? And it's hard because this is such a society of you gotta accept me, or if not you're, you know, you hate me, or you're, you know, this is a hate crime, or whatever the case is. So it's real sensitive right now, you know what I mean? It's a real sensitive situation.
It is, bro. What I was gonna ask you, So you kind of touched on it already. I was going to ask you, what do you feel as though for everyone out there that has kids, what do you feel needs to be done for them to protect their children from being exposed to sex too early, or being exposed to sex, period, bro? Like I'm gonna keep it 100.
Honestly, I could only speak for myself, but I feel like what needs to be done is we need to indoctrinate more of like a structure, a structural standard that is like efficient for life. You know what I'm saying? Something that's not gonna mess our kids up. You know, with the history that we have, we should learn from that and just try to just educate ourselves and our kids. Yeah. And not in the sense of tell them about these things, because me personally, I feel like, you know, as a parent, like if you a kid, there's things that you shouldn't know until you're older.
Like sex.
Yeah, like you shouldn't know. Like why do you know about these things? You know what I'm saying? Like what are you talking about? You know, like you're a
kid.
You don't even know how to wipe your ass right. You know what I mean? That's something that my mom, my elders used to tell me all the time, and you know, I didn't really think about it as anything, but like now it's something that I think about really like specifically, because it's every step of the way you got to watch your kid and what they do. Right. So, you know, putting the right information they're gonna get information, period. Yeah, they're gonna get information regardless, but putting the right information, I feel like you can not control that, but you can manage that. You can manage that with a kid. Like there's things that you can't manage and you're gonna have to deal with. Yeah, but that's the time when, you know, you're gonna have to teach them that when that time comes, teach them about that, because like you know, they're gonna learn about the stuff anyway. Yeah. But it's hard to like not let them know. But I say like just do it until you can't no more, basically. Yeah. Like do it until they actually like something happens, but you gotta be the parent to make them comfortable to tell you about it, because they could know about it and not even tell you about it. Right. And then just learn it some other way, or experience it, learning through experience, and that's what we don't want. Yeah, we want to prevent that. Yeah, no. You know, there's things that you're gonna have to experience as a kid, right? But we want to limit that as much as possible as parents. We want to tell you about it and have you not be so hard-headed. You know, teach you how to go about, you know, telling us these things. Yeah, make you comfortable. Like, you know, there's levels and there's ways that you gotta, that's growth. Like you gotta grow from that. Yeah That's how we'll teach them. Like we gotta learn ourselves, we gotta grow ourselves first. And I don't know, man, but the way it's going is looking, I don't know, it's looking, you can't really call it.
Nah, you can't, because you could do anything you can do anything, bro. You can do anything, and people, we all have free will, and I wanted to share this verse before we head out. This is today's verse, and it's Proverbs 22 verse 6, and it says, train up a child in the way he should go, and when he is old, he will not depart from it. That's a very popular verse in the church community, but that doesn't take away from the amount of wisdom that it holds. And that's what it's about, man. If you are a parent out there, it is your responsibility to train up a child in the way that they should go. And as long as you are leading by example, as long as you're being loving, as long as you're explaining what needs to be explained, then they won't depart from it, because that's what they were trained up to be. So when we talk about sex, you know, I don't know, you know, in the future, I don't know what my son's going to do. I have no clue. But as long as what I'm doing is of God's will, and I got to make sure that I'm training him up in the way that he should go, and I'm leading by example, when he gets of age and when he gets to that point, I have whole faith in God that in his heart, he's going to do what needs to be done. You know what I mean? And he's going to do what is right. Not what he feels, because I was about to say what he feels is right, but it's not about what you feel. It's about what you believe. You know what I mean? And that's what's going to be key. And as long as he believes in God's will and God's word, then he going to do what needs to be done. He's going to go in the way that he should go. So I feel as though that's the best thing that we can do, because you could sit here and you can explain this, you can explain that. We try our best to protect our children by saying, yo, if you go over Bobby's house, let me know what's going on. Let me know this time, this location, this, and this. And then they still getting the stuff. You know what I mean? Like when I was younger, I still got into stuff anyway. You know what I mean? And that's just what happens. That when you talk about you can't control everything, that's what you're saying. Like, you can't control that. All you can do is teach them, and then whatever they are exposed to, you just gotta pray in this day and age, because like I said, they get cell phones at 6 years old. They get access to internet at 6 years old. You know what I mean? Like, and then if they go to public school, I mean, at this point, it don't matter if it's public or if it's private. If anything, you know, the private schools is about just as worse as the public schools. The only thing is they trying to indoctrinate, you know, Christianity and you know what I mean, and stuff like that. But it's like it ain't nothing but a bunch of hypocrites going throughout that school in the first place anyway. So and they're all learning, so I'm not judging at all. Like, they're young, they're all trying to learn. But again, not for nothing, it's those parents and it's those adults in those schools that need to be making sure that they monitor those children. But that's a whole nother story. My main thing, and I'll close it with this, is just train up a child in the way that they should go, and they should not depart from it. And the only way that that's going to work is if you really believe what you stand on, if you really believe what you say. If you telling them to do one thing, but then you doing a whole nother thing, or you doing the opposite, they don't listen to what you say. They watch what you do. You know what I mean? You can tell a child not to touch the stove, but if you touch the stove, they gonna touch the stove too. Because it's not about what you say, it's about what you say, and it's about the action that follows up behind what you say. If you tell Bobby not to touch the stove and then he see you not touching it, then guess what? 9 times out of 10, he not going to touch it. And then if he touches it, then he'll learn from it. God's going to deal with him. That's not your battle. You know what I mean? You can't control everything. But I don't know, man. I think, you know, this documentary exposed a lot. It's stuff like this still going on today, man. Kids are still being molested. They're still being raped. You still got to watch your kids around people, because you never know. And as long as you teach your kids to communicate with you, then that's very important. How you feel about that?
Oh no, for sure.
Word.
For sure. It's a good watch. Definitely watch it. Go check it out. And then just try to see what y'all think about it. I mean, it's something definitely to look at.
Yeah, man. Definitely. If you leave in the comments what was the craziest thing that you didn't know about. What was the craziest thing? I didn't even watch episode 3 and 4. I'm gonna watch that as soon as we.
What was the craziest thing you didn't know about?
Like the craziest thing to me was the Drake Bell thing. I didn't see the 3rd episode, but at the end of the 2nd episode, because it was just building up, bro. And I was like, yo, who are they talking about? Yeah, I'm like, who are they talking about? And then when bro sat down, I was like, no way.
Yeah, he been going through it too. You hear about his hiatus and stuff like that, leaving, and then the allegations with the, I don't know, man. I don't know if you know about that. But anyway, man.
That's traumatizing, bro.
You can't.
That's scarring.
Or you could just hope to come back from. What's funny is that I seen a movie last night that he was in. That's so funny. Like, it's called American Satan.
Wow.
And it was just a movie that me and my girl were gonna watch, we ended up watching, just out of the blue, and then it was just like, what the heck? It's Drake. We just talking about Drake, man. But yeah, man, that was crazy. That was a crazy thing too to just discover.
Yeah, man.
For me, it was that the fact that, all right, so this is gonna be a little spoiler, but whatever, you know what I mean? It's just a small one. But anyways, the speech coach, Brian Peck, the one that actually did the things to Drake.
Yeah.
He said that, and like at one point Drake had ended up having a girlfriend, and that he called Brian Peck called Drake's girlfriend.
Yeah.
Like spazzing on her, like, why is he always over there? This, that, and the fourth. And then the mother's like, yeah, that's not normal. We're gonna have to take you to our therapist. Something's happening. But yeah, that was like crazy to me. I'm like, oh nah, there's one that passed.
Hold on, before you say that.
Hold on.
Wait.
Go ahead, talk to me.
Yo, is it messed up? I hate to say this because you never judge a book by its cover, but do he not look creepy?
Who that?
Brian Peck. That was the one in the middle, right?
Yeah, no, he looks creepy.
I feel like he looked creepy.
If you know what you know now, like, I don't think he looked like he was one of those guys that, like, the job entails him to be a certain way.
Oh yeah, so yeah. Like he was Pickle Boy and when they did the pickle through the
oh, that they were eating a pickle.
Nah,
what's that?
When he put the pickle through, like, let's call it what it is, bro. The glory hole.
Yeah,
bro, that was sick.
It was a lot of things.
That was like, sick.
Yeah, it was a lot of things. But for me, boom. So Brian Peck, I think it was Brian Peck. They went into his crib and they said that he had a room that was fully of Planet of the Apes.
Yeah.
But there was a picture that was like mad odd. And forgive me for like spoiling this for you. But the picture looked so creepy. Like, it was a clown picture.
Yeah.
And they said on the back of the clown picture, and it was ironic because the picture was the only picture there that had nothing to do with the theme that he had. The whole. So he said the back of the picture said something like signed by John Wayne Gacy.
Yeah.
And then I was mind blown. I'm like, nah. And then come to find out that I guess he was ranting to each other. Pen pals. Like, yo, it's crazy.
And bro, you see that and immediate red flag, bro. Like, immediate red flag. Like,
so much. It's
bro,
a lot.
Y'all gotta watch this, man. Y'all gotta watch this, man. That's only one episode. We ain't even really spoiling nothing for real.
Man, for real.
That's crazy.
There's 4 to the series, so catch that.
Yeah, man.
Comment, like, whatever, share. See what you guys feel about it.
All of that, man. And if there's anything else you want us to react to or just to do a video on, please make sure that you put it in the comments, man. We love y'all for rocking out with us. And, that's what it is, man. Not another podcast. Until next time, we love y'all. Peace.
Who's that, huh?
Yeah.